Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are going to look at the next topic, that is the back rank weakness. So generally what we assume back rank weakness to be as a very easy topic. It's a simple concept. The king is on the last line and the check happens also from the same last rank over there and it leads to mate. Usually the back rank will happen with rook or queen only. So in these positions, I am trying to take it to a little higher level, intermediate level positions, and we will try to see how positions can be very tricky. The ideas can be same, the back rank is weak, but to reach there it may not be that easy. So we are starting from easy to difficult. So this is the position. White looks little bit active, okay. Although we cannot complain much about the black position apart from the back rank weakness because the f7 square is available, although the king cannot come there. So back rank's weakness is a situation where king is on the last line and it is not able to move up because the pawns are blocking its path. Okay. So better because the rook is eyeing the 7th rank, the queen is able to reach h7 immediately. It has got some checks to reach the king. Okay, but the f1 rook is bit passive. If we look at the black position, the biggest drawback is the queen, which is far away from his own king, and two rooks which seem to attack the on the open file. The rook is attacking f3, the other rook is attacking e7. Suppose this rook has to move, let's say by rook d7, then black can try the move rook e1. Okay, after rook e1 there will be trade of rooks and black queen will penetrate and soon it will be a decent position. So white exploits the back rank here in a slightly unusual way. So qc4 check, this is the most obvious move. qb3 also works. King is forced to go to h8 and after rook f7, queen takes the rook also mates, or direct rook e8 is mating one. So because the rook gets pinned. So king went to h8 and now the trouble is the both rooks are able to see rook on e8 is attacking e7, rook on f8 is controlling the f7 square. So white plays queen f7. Now see, this is a situation where both rooks cannot move. If rook takes e7, then rook f8 mates. If rook takes f7, then rook e8, rook f8 mates. And now this move is actually a double attack. The queen attacks g7, threatening a mate. The only move could be to protect g7. See, the queen is far away, it's unable to protect g7. So the only move rook g8, and after rook g8 there was also attack on e8. And now see, there is no defense. If queen rook takes c8, then queen e8 mates, or if the h pawn moves h6 or h5, h6 then just qg8 mate. h5 would have just allowed qh5 mate as well. So there is absolutely no defense here and black had to resign. We have the next position here where we again see that the black king is on the edge of the board and there are all pawns in front of it. So the king is unable to move up. So this is the first factor which should trigger in our mind, and we should keep that in mind that at some point back rank combination might be possible, especially if the rooks have left the back rank, or if the rooks are there we can try to attack them and deflect them like we did in the previous position. Here the problem is that the white's pieces are somewhat active, but we see that direct entry to the back rank gives nothing, like queen c8 check, then the bishop d8, queen c8 check, we can go for the move bishop d8 here, okay, which is also somewhat we can consider as a defense. The point that white noted here, the support is there, enough supports on d8. So when we give check from the back rank c8 or a8, then this bishop and rook both control d8. Another point that white noted is the queen is able to go to the e8 square. This is another place from where the back rank mate can happen. So the rook is one defender, okay. Second defender is the bishop on f6, and third the bishop on h3, which supports the other defender, that is the d7 rook. So here white spotted a very nice idea. He is trying to cut off the defense and also is opening his rook which can guard d8. So here white uses the move bishop e6. See, this is clearance of his rook and interference between his piece. So white could use both the ideas, interference, clearance, and of course he is trying to exploit the back rank. Now if rook takes d3, then queen e8 and checkmates. If rook goes to d8, then rook d8, bd8, then again queen e8 mates. So probably it's forced to take bishop e6 and protect the rook. After the move fe6, we see that we can take the rook also, or we can go for the mate after the move qc8, bishop d8, and now qd8 mate. This is called X-ray attack. Okay, through the piece we are attacking. So rook d8 and rook d8. Now after the move queen e8, then rook e8 checkmates. So white wins the game. After the move bishop e6, black has nothing but to clear the back rank perhaps over here, to which white has many things he can do. Okay, he can take just the d7 rook with the bishop, which gives him full extra rook over here. After bd7, just take qd7, try to trade the queens, and game over. After bd7, qd7, one of the simplest ways would be queen c8 check, king h7, and queen to f5. Trade the queens, and with extra rook we can convert the game very easily. Get to the next position here. This is a very famous example from the game of 4th world champion, that is Alexander Alekhine. He was the 4th world champion. So now what happens here? White easily noted here that the back rank is weak. So there are two ways to two squares from where the back rank can be exploited. One is queen is eyeing to the f8 square. As I have told you again and again, we should see through the pieces. So 8 and f8 are the squares where we are eyeing, and the move rook c8. Okay, but the problem with rook c8 is after rook c8, rook takes c8, d takes c8, and queen takes c8, and nothing happens over there. Queen simply regains control of the back rank, and there are extra pawns over here. What white understood here, that he has to act quickly, because the problem is the d7 pawn would be lost now. For example, queen takes d7 is a threat, and maybe after the move like rook c7, black can even better just play h6 and clear the back rank first, so that there are no tactical problems on f8. So white used a beautiful tactic here. First move rook c8, okay, and after the move rook c8, this move must have come as a real surprise to black. Now the queen is guarding the c8 square, queen is attacking d7, the pawn is attacking d8 and c8 both. So comes the move queen e6. Using a deflection over here, multiple themes are used. First we are trying to deflect the queen. If queen takes the queen, then dc8, queen or rook, whatever, queen f8, then queen f8 mates. Now the first point is, what is the threat? Still dc8 is not a threat. dc8 allows qc8. One threat is just take the queen. Let's say h6 is played, just take the queen, pawn takes the queen and dc8. Then the rook is lost, plus white will be a queen up. So no time to defend the back rank. If the rook moves, the best option is to get the rook away to g8. The rook is protected, but the queen was also eyeing the d8 square. So after d8 equal to queen, rook takes d8 blunder, then q d8 and mates. And let's say we have got a queen here. Okay, then what happens over here? The position is winning for white. Two queens versus rook and queen. And the biggest problem is after the trade over on the e7 square, it's game over. If the queen moves away, then there is qg8, kg8, queen e8 mate. So the queen cannot move away. So forcibly there will be trade of queens, and the queen will be able to take the pawns. Let's say for example the move h6 now. Queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, and we will see this power of the queen. Queen will be able to snatch the pawns by force. There is some problem with this pawn, but white can start with the move double attack on e8, e6 and a6, and after c3 we can go for the move qc5, attacking the c3 pawn and winning the pawn instantly. The queen's power is enormous, but white has to be careful. After rook c8, he can just take queen e6, attacking the rook. Rook goes away, then the queen will control the square and white will be able to push his own pawn and win the game very easily. This is a very famous position, by the way, and what we see here again, that the white rooks are eyeing the e8 square. The king is unable to move because of his pawns, and we see that the rook and queen are the defender of the e8 square, or the e8 rook, we can say. So last move, white has taken bf6, and he reached this position. So basically, white had this thing in mind: if this queen can be deflected, then back rank tactics is possible. It's a long combination, and it will take some time to understand how nicely white is able to exploit the overloading of both these pieces. So the moves that come to mind are rook e8, okay, queen g4, trying to move the queen away, and queen a4 also, but queen a4 is useless because after queen a4, queen simply keeps the e8 rook guarded. So do note that white's back rank is also weak. So in some lines there could be problem on the white back rank. I will start with the moves as it's a lengthy one. So I will show you some idea here. qg4, attacking the queen. So the queen has only place to move, that is b5. There is no other place for the queen. So queen g4, qb5, when e8 is kept guarded. Do note that after qc8, rook c8, e8 is guarded well. So white started qg4, qb5, and here many people think that a4 wins, because after a4 what is happening? The queen has no place to keep the e8 rook guarded, and it looks like white wins the game. But unfortunately, as I told you, white's back rank is also weak. Now comes the move queen e2, and after queen e2 it's a shock. White would have lost the game. After rook e2, rook check, knight e1, and again we see the concept of X-ray attack. The e8 rook attacks e1 through the rook. So rook e1 check, rook e1, and rook e1 mate. So white would have lost a one game. That's why it's equally important to find opponent's move properly as well. White continued. White understood that first he has to stop this queen e2 and rook c1 idea. So white played qc4, once again deflecting the queen and also the rook. If rook takes c4, then rook e8, queen e8, rook e8 mates. Similar happens to qc4. So the queen has to be moved now. There is no respite in the line. Rook e2, see, both rooks cannot move because rook e2, then just qc8. And we see that after qe8, again same story. We have got an X-ray attack. qe8, re8, re8 mates. Black has to play the only move, qd7. So far things look decent, and it's not clear how white will improve the position further. White has another very simple and stunning move, qc7, once again attacking the rook and queen both. Of course, we know by now that queen is untouchable over here, because if we take it with anything, then e8 is gone for free, and even the queen is attacked. So this time rook into e2 just allows qd7, and what we see is after re1, knight e1. So white's back rank is more secured than black's here, because e8 is not guarded properly for black, but for white e1 is guarded by two pieces. Okay, that is one of the reasons that black is not able to make the tactic same way as white is able to. So queen once again goes to b5. Again we know a4 will not do, but here white has an idea in mind. The point is now a4, then there is no qe2. That is the first point of keeping the queen on c7. But the problem is after a4, this time there is just queen a4. Previously with the queen on the fourth rank, a4, queen a4 was not possible, but that time qe2 was possible. That is why the move qc7 was very important. It has stopped the possibility of rook c1, and here white found the very strong move re4, and we realize that now the game is indeed over, because rook is unable to move. Rook e4 allows qc8, and it will mate. Same problem, if queen into e4, then just I don't have to take queen c8 and all, just take the queen. The rook is not able to take. None of the rooks can move because the other rook will be taken. These tactics we see time and again with the back rank weakness. So rook e4, very important in terms of rook e4. The queen has to go to b5. Now it looks as if the queen is safe here, but do note that the a4 move was very important to relieve the rook on e2 from here. Now queen into e2 tactics is gone because the rook has moved with a gain of tempo and the queen has only place on b5. There is no other place for the queen to keep the e8 rook supported, and now comes the move qb7, after which all variations lose for black. See, if this position is there with rook on e2, we know there would have been queen e2, but now all lines are lost. Let's check each and every variation. If just rook moves, then queen takes the queen. Queen takes b7, of course loses because re8, re8 and re8 mates. We cannot play rook a4 here because queen a4 here because rook into a4, rook e1, then knight e1. See, the e1 square is guarded. Any other attempt to protect the e8 square, okay? So there can be moves like b8, which tries to protect the rook and the e8 rook both. Here, do note that queen into b8 would be blunder. Many people suggest that just the e8 rook would take b8 and white will be not be able to execute rook e8 check. So just queen takes the queen, and now if rook takes the queen, then comes the move rook e8. To complete all the lines, I must show you that at the point of qc7, here qd8 was possible, but qd8 would have failed easily to the move qc8. Okay, and after qc8, re8, qe8, rook e8 mates. This line I forgot to show you before, but it would have become losing. And now after the move rook e2, there is the intermezzo qd8 check first, bd8 and rook e2. So in this position now there is no defense and we are able to complete all the lines here. So this was all about the back rank positions. Of course, this is again at the intermediate level. In future, I will try to take actual game positions. Of course, these are also game positions, actual cases where we don't just try to solve them as a position, but try to take as a consequence of the game, like we did in this one. I hope you are enjoying these lessons. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.